I will lead the fight. Senate President Lawan says Nigerian government must support cattle business. Can you imagine? So is this why he's there? Senate President Ahmad Lawan has argued that the cattle rearing business has not gotten the kind of support and attention it should get from government in Nigeria. Lawan submitted that the subsector has the potential to serve as a huge boost to the economy and must get the support to do so from the government. He added that cattle rearing should not be seen as a private business and promised not to relent but fight in ensuring the government supports it. Wow. All right. So we understand Lawan made his stand known while playing host to a delegation from the Federal Ministry of Agriculture led by the Minister Muhammad Mahmoud Abubakar. Can you imagine? So now Osama said, now the head Minister of Agriculture. Speaking further, the Senate President said, though he is not a Fulani man, he believes cattle rearers in the country have not been fairly treated and better things need to be done for them. He argued that the government supports and bail out other sectors of the economy and cattle rearing as well as general livestock rearing should not be an exemption. Which other sector is government bailing out? He urged members of the public to desist from their hypocritical view of government support for those involved in cattle rearing business. He said this sector, the livestock sector, does not get the attention of the government, and I find it strange that here you have a sector that has the potential of boosting our economy significantly, and yet it is neglected. I am not a Fulani in any way. I don't have any Fulani blood, but I think our livestock rearers have not received a fair deal all through our history. As elected people, we owe every segment of those that elect us the obligation and responsibility to do what is right, to draw attention of government, and where we are able to do something personally, we do so for the betterment of our people. That is what Ahmad is saying. I think many Nigerians have been hypocritical. When it comes to livestock rearers, they will say, no. Government should not support them. It is private business. That is hypocrisy. What can be done private than banks? Individuals will establish banks, steal the money, then AMCON will take over. They will call it toxic asset and put the burden on our head. Government has given over 1.2 trillion naira to electricity distribution companies that have been sold to people. Even those who are engaged in crop farming, they get something maybe free. And when it comes to livestock, they will say it is private business. That is hypocrisy, and it is unfair to those who are engaged in livestock farming. This is 2022. Next year, there will be elections for president, governors, senators, House of Reps, and state assembly members. In the APC, I will fight until our manifesto provides for our livestock subsector program. Okay, you go fight. Because the same way Fulani people are killing farmers in the bush, is it the same way bankers are killing customers? So he said, I will lead the fight. Lawan vowed that beyond the current administration, he would be at the forefront of agitation for the government to be more involved in providing support for cattle rearing business. He said, yes, I will lead the fight, and there will be no problem because I believe that our administration must do something. And whatever is led for this administration, I am going to get more of my colleagues to push something for the livestock sector. Fair is fair. We just have to be fair to people. And I think we have not been fair to our livestock animal rearers and fishermen. Our livestock subsector needs better attention. And I am not talking politics. Leaders at all levels of government, federal, states, and local government must do something to address this, and Nigerians must desist from being hypocritical. That is what he has to say, Ahmad Lawan. So he's going to lead the fight for cattle raiders in Nigeria to have government support. There are several ways to support them, but the way they are going about it is actually not the way they should go about it. Livestock rearers and Fulanis cannot come and tell us that they own the whole Nigeria. They need the 451 grazing routes in Nigeria across all states. They want to install their caliphate. They want to have everything. All right? It's not done that way. That is not how. Then you collect people's land and give to them, say because you are supporting cattle rearers in Nigeria. It cannot work that way. All right? And again, even if government is supporting distressed banks or supporting other businesses, are those businesses killing their customers? How many people have gone to the bank and they say bankers are killing their customers, or other crop husbandry, what they call it, crop producers, all right, agriculturists that deal on crops? How many times have they killed people around? The way Fulanis are carrying their cattle, go into people's farm, graze and finish their crops, and when they talk, they wield out AK-47 and shoot them there. How many of other business sectors have done that? The Igbo people that are doing spare parts, how many people have they killed their customers that are coming to buy spare parts? And how many times had government released money for the Igbo spare part dealers across the country? The Igbos are the major importers and exporters in this country. How many times has government support them? Rather, what government do is increasing import and export duties at the seaport and airport, and then they distress them. All right. So all this one Lawan is saying is Fulanization agenda, telling us that it's not a Fulani, but it's trying to obey the Fulani's call, to obey the Fulani's demand, because he's just there as a stooge, as a figurehead. He's being used by the Fulanis. So now that he said he's going to lead the fight, I just pray that we'll vote out APC and let's see where he will lead the fight from. Because it's not being hypocritical. The Fulanis have been very toxic to the rest of Nigerians. That is the truth. They have been enemies to the rest of Nigerians, and the hatred they have heaped for themselves, they can never get over it, even in the next 100 years. They have displayed whom they are, except if history is thrown into the bush. You understand? So the Fulanis are not people to live with. That is the truth. So if government wants to support them, let them go and look for other ways they can support them, but not giving them people's land, not talking about the grazing route, because grazing route is not going to work. All right, grazing route is not going to work. Let them go and look for other ways they can support them. They can give them funds to go and have lives, to go and have feeds, or maybe develop ranches for them in safe areas. Let them go and stay, but they must not be in the community with normal people, because those guys are not normal. That is the truth about it. All right. Somebody is saying, I am into goat farming and piggery, so waiting government go do for me. Isi man. This was big man. Isi man. That is the truth. The worst Senate president in the history of Nigeria. That is true. Ulodo Senate president with misplaced priority always. That is true. I they tell you that people are responding. Please, cattle rearing is a private business, so government cannot support it. Cattle rearing support or Fulanization, this is jihad. The nonsense must stop, and that is true. Nigerian government, come support me too. I'm into farming. For where who go hear your voice? Another bandit leader. That is what Ahmad is. Now, when you have empty-headed people as leaders, what do you get? People like Lawan. That is what you get. Criminals in the head of affairs. All right. All the AK-47 given to Fulani to kill innocent people by this government is not enough. Abi. They want to collect their land and their houses to give them, and tell them to kill them. All right. Oga, lead fights against security if you are a serious person. So they give them now, they go give them back. So Nigeria should embrace backwardness because of Fulani people. Guinea, Senegal, Sierra Leone have Fulanis, but they don't engage in this type of cattle rearing. Nigeria is too big for this, and that is true. So there's a lot of responses here to Ahmad Lawan. Let him lead the fight, and let's see where the fight will take him to. So thank you for listening, and let's have a comment below.